Thank you, Zach. Thanks for allowing me to demonstrate Visual Planner to your customers this afternoon. Thank you for everyone for joining this afternoon's Visual Planner webinar. Now, as mentioned, I'm John Grima. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director of Lynq Limited. We're an exact Macola reseller. And what I'm going to do today is go through and show you a fairly high-level demonstration of Visual Planner for shop floor control. I'm going to say this from the off, but if this is something that you find interesting, want to know more about, perhaps would like a more detailed look at this, then we're happy to arrange for that to happen, a one-to-one demonstration. But for today, I'm just going to give you as much as I can within an hour, and hopefully you'll see enough to want to take another look at this. Okay, so that's the agenda. We're going to go through that now. Bear with me. Yes, Lynq are an exact Macola reseller, have been for over 20 years. We have our own customer base out here in the UK and Europe, and our customers were very keen to find a solution out there that would help them make better production plans and help them to schedule production, making best use of material, labour and capacity. So we looked at the marketplace, didn't find anything that integrated particularly well with Macola, and the solutions that were out there were overly complicated and not particularly easy to use. So we set our development team a task to produce a visual planning product, and that's what you're going to see today. We wanted it to be very easy to use and to really be up and running quickly. That was one of the main things that we got them to do. So why did our customers want a production planning and scheduling solution? Well, they face the challenges that I'm sure you face, being able to purchase, allocate, utilize production resources, all the while trying to meet the demands that your customers give you. So, trying to minimize costs, huge challenge for most manufacturing companies, and production is where those costs typically are. But trying to manage all of that in an Excel spreadsheet or whiteboard, access database, which is unintegrated, doesn't integrate into Macola, and that coupled with the fact that Macola itself works on an infinite capacity basis, doesn't take into account whether you have the capacity on the shop floor, whether you have the resources there, makes the whole task extremely difficult for any production planner out there. So you need a solution that is going to offer you a different way, an easier way of managing that, and that's what we've tried to achieve with Visual Planner. Getting it wrong, your operating costs could potentially increase, and may lose business. Business may go elsewhere because you can't give reliable information to your customers or prospects. So what will Visual Planner do for your business? Well, like all our customers, I think you would agree that production is really the heart of any good manufacturing business. So how well you execute production depends greatly on how you do that. Now, with Visual Planner, what we try to do is give you a solution that is going to help the planner achieve the best match for delivery requirements, It means that customer service can improve. It means they're going to reduce finished good stock. You're going to potentially reduce work in progress and lead times. And you're going to have a solution that is totally integrated, so you can see your available stock. You're going to see the resources that you have available, your capacity, and you're going to be able to quickly adjust your production plans because in the real world they need to be. You need to have a flexible way of getting back on track. So visibility is something that this solution really does give. The integration with Macola, and for those of you that are using MRP and are make to stock, this can be absolutely, can really free up cash that you would tie up in stock just by bringing in or helping you bring in that material when you need it for production, not too early or too late. So you'll see that when we schedule production orders, we're writing new start and due dates back into Macola. MRP's working on the back of those dates and doing its thing. So all of this helps you to bring your production plans and purchasing plans, bring them into, put them in unison so that your buyers can concentrate on their job, in terms of bringing in stock materials and doing the job that they do in trying to bring prices down. The demonstration now, I'm just going to go into a visual planner for you now. Bear with me. Okay, so what you're seeing here is visual planner for shop floor control. I'm going to explain what you're seeing on the screen in a second, but just so that you're aware, visual planner for shop floor control is a workstation-based solution. It's installed at the workstation, and we generate user licenses, and those user licenses have roles assigned to them. So the production planner would have a planning role that would allow them to do everything in the product. That's scheduling, run reports, view and drill down into data, all those kinds of things. And we have a view-only type role that would allow maybe customer services to view the production plan, maybe the operators down on the shop floor to view what is being scheduled to them, maybe open up attached documents that are attached to orders, operations, and other things like that. But they wouldn't be able to schedule any orders. So workstation-based, it takes around about an hour to install visual planner shop floor control, and within that hour you will immediately see all your departments, work centres. You will see all your live shop orders in the visual planner, and pretty much within an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're able to start going into training and piloting of the software. So that is how well integrated the product is. Okay, so a lot of our customers have screens out on the shop floor by their machines. We have some customers that have really big 50-inch screens out there, so everyone can see what is going on, what is being scheduled, see production plans, and so on. So that visibility is really quite impressive when you see that going on. What I'm going to do now is take you through what you're seeing on the screen. I just want to point out to you there, right at the very top of the screen, a planning interval. Now that is what I'm scheduling into, so mine is set to go right out until the 19th of June. So you can have your planning interval set to a week out, 2 weeks, 2 months, even a year and beyond if you want to. but mine's set to run out until June. Okay, so that's the planning interval, and this area here is called the task panel, and the information contained in it really are your shop orders, their operations, and a lot of this information, I believe, comes out of the shop floor detail file of Macola. And I can't do it on this demonstration, but just a lot of our customers have dual screens, or the production planners would have dual screens, so they would see the task panel, this area here, on one screen, and this area here which is the planning board, on another screen. We do have planners out there that have one large screen and see what you're seeing, but maybe on a bigger scale. But within the task panel, there are a number of things that you can do with the data that you have here, like sort, group, and filter. So, for instance, if I wanted to, let's say, group by item number, all I do is click on the column header, drag it up to the bar there, and you'll see the data parsed down. So let's group by item number and due date, source due date, and you see that the data starts to take shape. If you don't like the grouping, you just drag it back down, and you're back to where you were before. Along every single column header, you'll see a little arrow pop up. If you click on that arrow, you then go into an option that allows you to set filters, and you can set filters of multiple criteria, save them, so that when you come back into Visual Planner, they're there ready for you to work in. Other things that I can do here, I can actually elect to remove information from the task panel view, or bring additional information in from Macola, so that I can do the things that I've just mentioned, sort of off data or group, filter, that kind of thing. So I'm going into column settings here. That goes straight into your Macola files, and you can elect to bring in, for instance, you could bring in a user-defined field that you may be using, bring that into the task panel view. Wherever you see these little arrows, that allows you to drill into data. So I can drill into the item master file and bring in additional data there and bring that into my view. If you don't want to see something in the task panel view, you just untick, and it will disappear from the view. Other things that you can do with this, you can export this data out. So we have export options here. So, perhaps if you've sorted your data, you may want to export it out and review it. But that's an option there as well. So just so that you're aware here, we're looking at orders here, shop orders, and I've got mine at various statuses. I'm looking at released, unreleased, started, and so on, but you may want to have this set so that you're only looking at released orders or unreleased, depending on how you want to work within the software. But let's look at order 58 here now. 58 consists of various steps, operational steps. So if I click on the little plus button here, that will open up, and you will see the routing for order 57. So there are 8 steps here that you see, and each of those steps, all of this information is straight out of Macola. It's the routing, and you will see some information here that you must have set up within your routing in order for Visual Planner in order to schedule your orders in Visual Planner. And that information that you must have in your routings is the number of machines, standard machine hours, or number of workers, standard labor hours, or both. You need that information in your routings. You need it set up. If you haven't got it set up, what will happen is that when we install the software, you will see a little valid for scheduling icon, because the system automatically validates whether or not your orders are valid for scheduling. And you will see a red dot alongside, in fact, a red dot there, which if you hover over will tell you that you may have an issue with your routings. You may have missing data, and then you can go in and tidy that up. Now, a lot of the customers that have bought this, the service time is relatively short. You're looking at anything between 16 and 26 hours of service time. But once the software is installed, you go into a training and piloting mode. But what often happens is that the customers look at their data and actually go away and fine-tune their routings. Because if you can imagine, you're scheduling your orders in a visual planner, maybe on a test company, then you're seeing the flow of those routings through your shop floor, and you can very clearly see that you may actually have something set up incorrectly. So you can go back into Macola and do that fine-tuning. That's what happens. It's very rarely that the customer's data is perfect and they go live straight away. There's often a bit of cleanup that needs to be done. But the cleanup is made a lot easier having this in place, because you can see it all in the plan. Okay, talking about the plan here, the area below here, this is the planning board. And the planning board is represented by activities. And the activities are this bar going across here. The red bar here, activity, is non-working time. Blue is working, so I'm working from 8 AM right up until 7 PM. And the yellow is lunch. Now that is a shift. That's my shift. I've got one shift in this department work center. Okay, so that's one shift. In this department work center, I've actually set Visual Planner up to have resources. So in this case, in this work center is employee constrained. So, I can't operate this work center without a certain number of employees. So the typical number of employees that I have available to me during this shift is 10 in the morning and 10 in the afternoon. So 10 of 10 are available. Currently, I have 100% capacity available to me at this point in time, because I've not scheduled anything. When I start scheduling things, you will see that my capacity starts to be eaten up, and you'll see that change. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is start to schedule some orders onto the planning board. But before I do, I just want to talk a little bit about shifts, because we call these shifts. We decided when we developed this not to use Macola's calendars because they were quite restrictive. Didn't give us the flexibility we needed for planning and the everyday things that occur in a typical production environment. So we wanted to provide a bit more flexibility there. So for instance, if this part of the day a machine broke down, then I could put a non-working activity in, maybe a machine, let's call it machine maintenance, and there's no resources available. Become non-productive time. That colour represents machine maintenance downtime here. So we're able to very quickly affect the plan. So I'm going to just change that back now. So we set these activities up, either working or non-working, as part of the implementation. It takes a few minutes to do that, and once you've got them set up, you can apply them to your work centres as and where you see fit. So that's that done. Very easy to do. So if I go into my shifts, because we call them shifts, not calendars, go into edit my standard week, you can see here that I work Monday through to Friday, and if I wanted to, let's say, make every Monday in my planning interval work, let's say we're going to work until 10 p.m. every Monday, then all I would do is drag the working time, my standard working time, out until 10 o'clock, and then click on apply, and every Monday will be extended out until 10 o'clock. But it's very easy to create multiple shifts and have them set up in work centres. You can do it en masse or by work centre by work centre. Very easy to do. Okay, so that's just the shifts. Okay, the fun part is scheduling, and you're scheduling these orders into the planning board. And at the moment, you're looking at the planning board in half-hourly increments. That's 8 o'clock, 8:30, and so on Friday, the 20th of April. But you can go right down to the 15-minute increment or see the entire planning period. So if I just click on the minus button here, now we're looking at 1 hour at a time. It's going over a weekend, 2 hours, 6 hours, and so on. I can carry on until I see the whole planning period. So I'm going to go back the other way and then start. Yeah, let's move it up to half an hour. Okay. Now, scheduling can be done either manually or automatically. Now, if you're working in a shop floor environment, then automatic schedule, you're not only scheduling the order, you're scheduling all the operations that with that order, and to do it manually would take a lot of time. So, but I just want to show you how you manually schedule. So what I'm going to do is schedule operation 10 of order 58 onto the planning board, just so that you can see how you manually schedule. All I'm doing here is dragging operation 10 down to the planning board, and what you're seeing now is that all the other work centres beneath work centre 1, department A, have been greyed out, and that's because this particular operation can only be made in that work centre according to the routing. And it's basically going to take one employee in each part of the day, in the first part of the day, actually, it's going to take 5.17 hours to produce. Then you've got your lunch time, and then in the second part of the day, it's going to take another one employee 3.83 hours to produce. So I'm going to let go of this tile now. I'm letting go. And by the way, this is drag and drop touchscreen as well. So if you like using a touchscreen, you can do that as well. So this tile represents the length of time that it's going to take to produce this one operation. It's just a single operation there of order 58. Now, what you may notice here is this particular operation now has a new start date and due date. Okay, there's the original source due date that came with the order when it was created in Macola, either manually or automatically, depending on how you're using Macola. But these new dates will be written back into Macola as soon as you're happy with your plan. If you click on an update button, that tile will turn green. In my case, it's green. Don't get hung up on colours. You can change colours and screen designs and all of that kind of good stuff. But this would turn green, and these dates would be written back into Macola. And Macola, if you're using MRP is going to pick these dates up and base its recommendations on these dates. Okay, so based on true capacity, true resource availability, these dates are written back into Macola, and MRP does its thing. If you're not using MRP, I think the reorder advice also uses these dates. Okay, so let me take this off the planning board very quickly and show you the other way that we can schedule. So I'm going to schedule order 58. What I'm going to do is just scale back a bit. Okay, right, order 58. I'm going to auto-schedule order 58. Go to this auto-scheduling dialog box. You have a number of options that you would typically have set. So I'm just showing you what you have available to you. But you can forward schedule, and you can forward schedule from the planning interval start, the current date, today's date, or the order start date. You can backward schedule from the source due date. You can back schedule, you can sequential schedule. There's lots and lots of ways that you can schedule within Visual Planner Shop Floor Control. And depending on how you're using Macola, if you're using overlap, outside processing time, any of those things, move, queue, you can have those set and have Visual Planner take care of those things for you and consider those things when it's scheduling. But for this purpose, I'm just going to click on schedule, and it will tell me that it's scheduled that, no problems. You've got a thumbs up there, which means it's virtually scheduled, and you see some virtual start dates, virtual due dates, and if I open up, click on the plus button here, you'll see that all the operational steps as well have been virtually scheduled, and here are the virtual start dates and due dates. And if I click on OK now, you will see that order scheduled on the planning board. So here it is, order 58. There's, where are we now? Order 58, yeah. There's operation 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and where's 80? There's 80. So they're all on the planning board, scheduled, and there are lots of things that you can do from here. I just want to show you some things that they've added to the software recently. This is called Schedule Around, which allows me to move an operation out and have all the other operations move with it. So let me do that. Let's click that and move it out. I'm moving it there. Let's move it here. And you'll see that all the other operations move out with it. So if operation 50 is running late and I need to move other operations out, I can use some of the features that we have here. And there's so many that I probably won't have time to show you them, but there's lots of flexibility built in here that will allow you to very quickly adjust your plans and get back on track, which is really important. I'm going to take this order off for a second, and I'm going to just schedule this one in place. Just again, auto schedule, and I'm just going to forward schedule. And you see it's very quick. And here it is. That's order 57 on the planning board. Now what I'm going to do now is schedule a whole group of orders. I don't know how many operations there must be quite a few operations in there as well. And again, schedule. There you go, and click on the planning board. And you'll see all those orders are virtually scheduled. Some of the work centres, you'll see orders stacked there. They're stacked, and you'll see them using that capacity, using up the resources that I have in the work centre. So there, I've only got 2 of 10 available to me. It gets better as I go out, and you can see I've already used 4% of my available capacity in that work centre. So again, I'm looking at this at 6 hours, 6-hourly intervals. You can zoom in, zoom out. and really get a good visual of what the load is on each work center. Okay, so that's how quick it is to schedule. Now, scheduling's one thing. You probably will want to know what have the stock of as well, and we have a module called material validation module that lets you know whether you have any component shortages, and you can see here the red indicates I do not have enough. But let's look at order 57, and let's look at order 57 and look at the shortages. And there you go. You can see that I have quite a lot short there for 57, but I can drill into the actual allocations of each component shortage and see what other orders out there are potentially consuming that component. So you see the demand and supply of that component. And this is dynamic, so if you have something, that component, a delivery, that component come in and you book it into Macola, then this will turn from red to green. And as I say, it gives you a good heads up as to whether or not you have any shortages. This is one way that you can check shortages, and I'm going to show you trial kitting, which is a standard feature. This feature actually it costs $2,400 and it's an optional module, but it gives you a lot of visibility there. Okay, so let me come out of that and show you trial kitting, and I'm going to trial kit. You can trial kit on one or many orders. You don't have to do one order, but I'm just going to click on trial kitting here. And what trial kitting is going out and looking at the captured bill of materials for that order, and is telling me whether or not I have any shortages. So what it's doing is looking at the quantity on hand, quantity allocated. I can't do what I did in the material validation module and see where those where that is allocated, but you can see that you have an allocation there. Quantity on order, required, available, and it goes out and looks at the quantity available plus on order at the date you have that scheduled in your plan. And in my case, I got mine set to go beyond that by 7 days, and I'm still short. And what you can do is do any open orders there and see what's coming in. So let me just click on this. This was probably so here you can see requested dates, promised dates, and drill into them. And the material planner can have access to this view only, and they can drill into it. The production planner can very quickly, flag this up to the material planner and see if the material planner can bring that stock in sooner, because you don't want to, you've got that capacity available, you've got the resources there, you want to produce that to get that order out to the customer. So it's a good visual heads up of where you are with your stock, and it's all real time, and the material validation is dynamic. And also what you can do is print this off. You can actually export this out to Excel, and like the task panel that you saw previously, you can group, filter, sort, export. I can click on this and export it out, so you get a nice report. And you can check other stocking locations. So if some of you have multiple stocking locations, you can view what you've got in those other stocking locations and potentially get the material planners or the warehouse people to transfer stock across to your shortage, the location where you're short. So again, good visibility. This is a standard feature of the product. This is trial kitting. Okay. Other things that you can do here, attach documents, and you can attach documents to the order or to the operation. So if you wanted to attach CAD drawings, inspection instructions, any document that you can think of to an order or an operation, and have that made viewable down on the shop floor, then you can do that. And some of our customers have set up repositories of documents that go out with certain orders, and so that they, so that the guys on the shop floor can view those documents, sign off on them, and other things. So those documents that remain with the orders. Other things you can do here, you can drill into live Macola data from here. So if I go into drill down here, I'm going into what we liken to multi-level item view on steroids, for those that are familiar with that feature in Macola. So, I can get into so much information here. I can go into the captured BOM, I can go into dependent shop orders and drill into those, the operations, and it goes on and on. So you can get into a lot of information without ever having to go into Macola from here. All sorts of information. Okay, so that's drill down. Another thing you can do is go into drill into the bill of materials again. I'll show you that very quickly. So there's materials for order 57, and you can drill and see that easily from here. Other things that you can do here, it depends how you're using Macola, but we have an option here called the jobs, and this is where in Macola you would be using something called force demand. Here, I don't know why I ducked on that, bear with me. Jobs tab, if force demand, that's where, for instance, a customer order would automatically generate dependent orders. You'd be able to schedule at that top level and have all the other orders blow through within Visual Planner. So that's the Jobs tab. Another feature that we have here is the What If order feature, and that's where you can create orders that don't exist in Macola, that only exist in Visual Planner. For instance, you may have a customer on the line that wants to know whether you can produce 100 widgets by the end of the month. I mean, you're going to say, of course we can, but you want to really give that customer reliable information. So what the planner would do would be to go into planning here, add what if order, and you would create a what if order, which is, like I say, a virtual order. Doesn't exist. Virtual order doesn't exist in Macola, and you would try to schedule that into capacity. So let's, what one that will do, adventure bike. And you can select the routing that you want to use, the location, the quantity, and the delivery due date, let's say there, and whether or not, if you're using pull or force demand in Macola, you'd probably want to click on create dependent orders, and then just click on OK, and we'll have a what if order there it is, and then you just schedule it. And I'll go to auto schedule and get this on the board. And it's on the board now. And there it is there. That's it with WI, what if order. So that's on the planning board. You go back to the customer service rep and say that, yeah, we can take that order and it will be ready by such and such date. You can do trial kitting on this for stock availability, but you can very clearly see that you have available capacity, resources, and you can meet that delivery requirement. What you can't do currently in Visual Planner is convert that what if order into a standard shop order from here, but we're working on that. So this is kind of, the what if order is kind of like a placeholder for now. So you'd need to go into Macola, create a standard order, and replace this what-if order with it. Okay, but in the future, you're going to be able to right-click on this what-if order and convert to a standard shop order that would then update Macola, and you'd have it on the planning board here. So that's the what-if orders. We have another tab here, which actually allows you to schedule MRP generated orders, so your computer plan and firm planned orders. This is a separate module which costs $4,000. Not everyone uses MRP, and that's why it's a separate module. But if you do use it, and you're able to schedule your computer plan and firm planned orders in the same way that you schedule your standard orders, but you can have your standard orders take priority over your CP and FPs if you want to, or you can have them sit on an equal footing with in terms of the capacity that they consume. So that's CP and FP orders. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my shop orders here, and what I'm going to do now is update Macola with the all-important new start dates and due dates. So all that is, right-click, update, and now it's writing those dates straight back into Macola, and you see those tiles turn green, green thumbs up in the plan. But even then, if I wanted to move something out, let's say I want to move that what-if order out, I don't know, let's move it over here. Yeah, that'll do. And it will turn orange again. There it is. And if I right-click, it will update Macola, and so on. So it's very quick to move your schedule around, click on update, and you're writing those dates back into Macola. Okay, the next thing I want to show you very quickly is the reports features that we have here. So I'm going to click on production plan to production plan. The dates here are obviously the planning interval dates that you have there, so you can adjust them if you want to. I'm going to click on generate. And this is going to create a crystal report that, again, you can modify. And remember that all the data here is SQL data. When we install Visual Planner, we basically have a number of the Visual Planner files that sit alongside your Macola, tables rather, that sit alongside your Macola tables. So all of this data is available to you. So here you're seeing a standard production plan report here, showing you what it is you've got to produce, where, quantities, and so on. That's just one of the reports. Close that. Another report that we have here is the shop order report. It's kind of like a shop packet report. Again, just another standard report here, showing you, again, operations, where they've got to be produced, quantities, and actually what I didn't show you is that if you're actually completing production, reporting production in Macola, we actually show you within Visual Planner that you've reported production, not only in the task panel but also on the tile itself. So there's every time you're reporting that you've completed something, we are picking that up and displaying that within the task panel and in the planning board. I'll try to show you that in a second. So that's just another report there, and what I'm going to do now is take you to the capacity charts that we have here, and I'm just going to apply very quickly. I know we're running out of time here, but there you can see the net calendar hours that you have in your shop, all your work centres, departments, 13,970. I've scheduled 729 hours, and I've got 13,240 remaining to be scheduled. That's just that's a very high level look at your shop, the capacity that you have there. Just going to show you another report that I'm just going to run that for you, what if as well. Let's do that. Let's apply some settings, weekly rather, and let's apply this and see if I can export this out to Excel. And what this is doing is looking at by department work centre the demand versus available hours in those work centres. So I'm going to try to export this to Excel so you can see it in a bit more detail. Bear with me. Okay, we call it a long-term capacity report, but what you're seeing here is in by week, because I've set mine to look at this by week, what I've got going on in each of those department work centres. So Department A Work Centre 1, net calendar hours 211 in that week. I've already scheduled 165 hours there. I've only got 46 hours available to me. I'm 78% loaded in that week on that work centre. So, quite a lot of visibility there, something that you could potentially use in your planning meetings. Just one of the ways that you can use this to perhaps get a good handle on the load that you have out on the shop floor and available capacity. So that's one of the charts. There's some other charts there that I'll show you another time if we go into this in more detail. Get back to this again. Another way that you can view your production plan, is we call it an outlook view, and it looks like this. So I'm looking at Department A, Work Centre 1. This is what I've got scheduled on the 19th. And I can do things like drill down, bill of materials, attach documents, and all those things from here as well. But it just gives you another way you can look at your plan. It's just another way. So there's my weekly view and monthly views. Here you see the what if orders out there, and if I had CPs and FPs scheduled out there, you'll see them on there as well. Okay, that was quite a high-level overview. As I mentioned, I'm really happy to provide you with a more detailed demonstration, even if it means with your data. We do that for Visual Planner Shop Floor, and so we'd have a consultant talk about the way you do things and try to understand how this could potentially work in your business. But that's something that we're happy to do for you. But what I want to get across really is strategic software. And I kind of think that it brings Macola into the 21st century, if you like. It extends that investment that you've made there. But it's really going to help you optimize the production planning process. It's going to bring your purchasing and production plans into unison. I think you're going to see a very quick return on investment, particularly those guys that are make to stock. Because bringing in that stock just in time will really free up that cash that you would otherwise tie up in materials. It's a latest software. It's a latest technology. And it's also supported by us here in the UK as well as in the US. So we have a growing customer base. We have business partners like Algorithm that get customer base are often providing us with new ideas that you often see in the software.